Hi friends, and welcome back. Barb Pask in Ohio. I'm going to show you, we'll see how this goes. I have this antique ice pick that I love. I love the color. Let me swing you around and try to show you what I've got set up here. I just love the green on this ice pick. So what goes with an ice pick? So I have, as you can see, a glass there with some ice in it, which isn't going to last long. I have a light on it, so that'll be the first thing we'll go after. And then I felt like I needed a third thing, odd numbers, so I threw the lemon in. So we shall see, we shall see. Anyway, we'll work on an 8x10 Centurion panel. I've got you pretty close. It's always a little awkward because I'm trying to work around you, and I kind of want to look over it, so I'm going to be reaching a bit. So if you're watching this, it must have turned out okay enough to post. So let's do a little sketching first. Actually, I usually sketch with ultramarine and transparent red oxide, but I think I'm going to switch up. I have a canvas that doesn't have a tone on it. I actually think I'm going to sketch with some Indian yellow, which is a transparent color, and it won't interfere with my nice clean lemon color. I'm looking through my EasyL viewfinder, and again, I'm looking over it, so let's see how we do. Kind of making some reference marks. I've kind of got it set up so one of the intersections is going right through the cup. Okay, so the edge of it's about there. More out there. I always say this is your painting, so take your time. I mean, what's the rush? This is called an ellipse. Ellipses can be tricky. Again, we're kind of looking down in this. Try to get some of these ice cubes before they melt away on us. It's one of those with a big chunky base. There's a lot of people that paint larger than life. I kind of, for myself, don't care for that as much. I don't know, I tend to paint things smaller than life or life size. Got a nice shadow here, good shadow there, shadow coming from that. Usually I would start probably with the lemon, which, that nice clean yellow color, but again, we're going to have to try to get that glass first, I think. As we look at it, it's grays. I've done a lot of glass, and I see a lot of gray. So some of this yellow might interfere with some of that, so You know, maybe we'll wipe some of that off. All right, we'll do the darkest colors that I see in the glass first. Again, it's a lot of grays. So we'll mix our 3 primaries. Make a gray. But it's not a very dark gray. Looking over there and analyzing what I see. We've got a dark screen behind it that cuts off about there. You know, with glass, it's what's behind it and what's reflecting in it. And let me go a little lighter. I don't have the typical ice maker where they're nice cubes. Mine are kind of weird pieces, and I don't think it matters in the end. I decided, you know, if you were actually using an ice pick and breaking up ice for a drink, you wouldn't have cubes anyway. And that's my story. You know, and I don't know if it's going to read even like ice in the end. I don't know. This may be one of those things that I may have to come back and really work on it with a photo to get what I want in the end. We'll see. But that's okay. I don't see much color to this, but I think so the cubes will stand out. I'm going to cool them off a little bit. Let's try that maybe. Can't believe Easter is next Sunday. Boy. I like that the clocks have changed, though. I like the later days. I wish they'd leave it that way all year round. And this will probably be one of those things where I'll have to tweak and tweak and tweak till I get what I want. But again, I'm trying to grab, I guess, the essence of it because it's going to be melting. I'm sure it's melting as we speak. Down in the bottom there, I've got some really bright, I'm going to mix a little yellow into some white. Like down in here, I think it's the light coming through the glass. I've got some really intense light there. Oh, I got a lot of paint on there. Well, let's move on because I think, again, I may develop that a lot more from a photo. I'm looking to see what bothers me, if anything, about it. I want the ice cubes to stand out, but actually all the liquid down in there is pretty light. Well, let's move on, and we'll move on to the lemon. I'm going for the cleanest part of the lemon first, while my brush is clean. And we ice. I see a little bit of that yellow in the glass. Looking through there at the lemon. I've got a bit of a, I guess it's a shadow from the glass coming across right here. I darkened that up a little bit. I'm going a little darker yet down here around the tip. That got a little warm. Cooling it back off a little bit. I'm feeling as though it's a little dark. We're going to go over that and lighten that a little bit. All right. We may have to adjust the shape of that ice pick. Playing around with different greens to get it like I want it. Yeah, see, I think I got a little tall. Let's look at it. It goes in up to about there and then around, so it's a little big. After we do the background, I might have to reintroduce some of this, you know. It's actually very pointy. Let's get a few of our shadows in. With the pick, it's up off the table down here, so it's kind of like that. the shadow from the glass isn't very as dark because it's there's light coming through. All right, again, our screen comes through. I don't want to line it up at some odd place there. Got to work on the shape of that lemon a little bit. And that feels a little big to me, that part. Well, we'll get something in for the dark background first. What I did not get out is my solvent. Let's see if I can reach it. Yeah. Now that I say that, I think it's in my case. Yep, there it is. Gamblin solvent-free liquid. I like that. So we'll thin it down a little bit. All right. And I unwrapped this new canvas to do this painting, and we didn't tone the canvas. But I always wish I had when I start doing the background. You know, we'll probably be going over this again to, you know, I do a lot of alla prima paintings, but there's something to be said for, you know, going back and doing layers. I like plein air and the freshness that you get when you do a plein air painting, but sometimes you get them home and you add a little light, you know, you can really improve them. darken that area in the glass a little bit. So we're going to need to lighten that rim right there so it stands out. Oh, I could be taking my time and really covering it, but I'm just trying to get some paint on the canvas. You know, this may not at all be the final product. It probably will not be. In a couple weeks, we'll have an opening at Sinclair College in Mason, the Friday after Easter. I have 4 paintings in that show. So if you're in the area, join us. It's always a good show. I'm just going to add some white to this color, maybe a little yellow even, to lighten it up. I think by using the same mixture you get better color harmony. Yeah, I'm going to have to, explain some things more. I'm okay to do that. There's some light coming through here. You got to get the canvas covered before you can really figure out where you want to go with stuff. I always, when I'm painting, I get to that point, it's like, hey, the canvas is covered, right? That's an accomplishment on its own. Oh, we only been at this 35 minutes. That's not bad. To have our objects blocked in and our canvas covered, that's pretty good, right? I would encourage you, if you've never toned, if you're not a person that tones your canvas, to give that a try, because like right now what I'm doing, if there was like a nice color underneath here, it's just wonderful really what it does. It just peeks through every place, every one of these little spots that I did not get covered with this white canvas. There'd be something under there. So So we're probably going to quit here for today. I'm going to have to go over everything again. But it's a good start, I think. All the elements are in, and we've got paint everywhere. But I'm going to be doing a lot of changing. I want to like really brighten up the foreground, the area with the lights coming from this side. I'm going to really want to brighten that up. May need to develop the shape of that a little bit more. I can see, I feel like it needs to come out a little more that way. Maybe explain that a little bit more. A confusing thing I see when you look toward the top, I think I might raise this because right now the background runs into the shadow of a lemon. So if I raise it here, I'll have to raise it over here. Just little things you see. Maybe you saw that. Did you see that before I saw that? Yeah, so we'll probably raise that area up there. More like that. Actually, it may need to come up a little bit more, right? To line it up. All right, there's things I like about it, so I'll probably won't wipe it off. I'll probably playing with it. If it had been a real lemon, which this is not a real lemon, I could have sliced it up, and that might have been interesting too. But I was trying to find a third element, and I thought lemon and water and the ice pick, I thought that all went together. So I'm looking at this little metal part down here. We'll mess with that, and then we're going to call it quits here. And there's the tiniest little highlight there. All right, so I'll move you over in front of it and you can get a look at it. About 42 minutes. Looking around, this feels a bit dark in there. But I think it's a good block in, it's a good start. I have to look at the ellipse. Is that a little low? Maybe. A lot of times this line will follow this line. Something to look for. I don't know. We'll just keep working at it. All right, thank you for joining me. And please like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. All right, catch you soon.